Hello there, and welcome to what's going to be a first look at TerraFirmaCraft for Minecraft 1.20. It's going to be a short series, just a few episodes, but we're going to be looking at some of the new concepts for 1.20 that aren't present in 1.18. And as we find more, we will add more. So I just set up a forge here because what I want to look at today is glass making, or glass blowing. So I've already got them bookmarked, so we've got glass products here. Most simple glass products is the glass pane, glass blocks. In order to craft them, you must start with a blowpipe. Yes, we actually have glass crafting with blowpipes and I can't remember the other words. Crimping and other stuff. We're gonna see. The blowpipe is made with a clay knapping recipe here. Glassworking is done by starting with glass batch and then completing a series of steps. These steps may require specific tools. A blowpipe to blow and stretch, a paddle to flatten, jacks to pinch, and a gem saw to saw. So I guess it's going to be kind of like how the anvil works, but using different tools. So we're going to check that out. Most important tool is the blowpipe, the ceramic blowpipe here. We can craft that in a moment. Blowpipes are brittle and have a chance to break when used. More sturdy types can be worked with a brass rod. Flattening paddle. The flatten operation is done with a paddle, which is crafted from wood. So 4 lumber and a stick. Then we got the pinch is done with jacks, which require 2 brass rods. And the gem saw requires gem powder and another brass rod. So I'm going to go grab these ingredients and let's just look at the actual recipe. It was those 2 out and then 2 here. Yep, and that gives us the unrefined, which we could fire. I don't see why not. Ooh. I don't remember seeing that before. It actually renders what is being forged. And if we go back 2 more pages, we actually get the beginning. Glasswork is the process of turning sand into glass. To start, you must create glass batch. And there are 4 types: silicate, hemetic, olivine, and volcanic. And each use a different colored sand, and they have different properties that haven't yet looked at, but I know capacity is one of those properties. Glass batch is then can then be crafted using the aforementioned colored sands plus lime and potash. Lime is created by heating flux, so we can do that in our forge here. And potash, a type of potash or equivalent, is also required for glass batch. Soda ash can be used, which is powder made from heating dried kelp or seaweed. Saltpeter also works. We got this here. Let's add 2 flux and 2 dried kelp just to test it out. Light it up. This is actually going to cook because I don't have a bellows on it, so let's just remove that. But there we go. Now we got some soda ash. You can get 3 per kelp. And the actual flux, well, we'll see when it's done. We also need a wool cloth. So in addition to the blowpipe, we need a paddle, jacks, gem saw, and a wool cloth. Flux is bright red, and there we go. Now it's lime. Okay, so let's go over here, toss down some sand, some lime, and some flux. Oh, well, soda ash, and that gives us our silica. And if we do it with the red, we get hemetic. Now, how do we apply it? Just like that. Place it in your crafting grid. You now get a blowpipe with glass. We now have to heat the blowpipe with glass, and it just needs to be faint red. So we should probably read up a bit more. How to glass. First, glass on the blowpipe must be faint red. Then hold the blowpipe and hold right button to perform each step. Blow, use the blowpipe while facing straight ahead. Stretch, use the blowpipe by facing straight down. Flatten, use the blowpipe with the paddle in your offhand. Pinch with jacks in your offhand. Saw with the saw in your offhand. And roll with wool cloth in your offhand. So this has already cooled back down because I was too busy chatting. Let's put it back in. I don't know if you can actually damage it by having it too bright, so we're just going to all right. Glass operations, blow. I did that. I tried stretching, but that didn't help. So let's try blowing again. All right, we've stretched it. I am absolutely lost because I'm expecting feedback, and I mean, I'm seeing what I'm doing, but I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, maybe if we read the Glassworking. Okay, I think I figured out what my mistake was. So if you use JEI, you can actually search up the recipes, and it shows you very nicely here. So silica glass, we want to blow first, then pinch, then saw. Put that in our offhand. Pinch. We didn't hold down long enough, so it didn't actually complete its cycle. There we go. Pop that back in. Switch to this. And saw. There we go. Now we have a glass bottle. So that's our first successful recipe. I've been trying this for about 20 minutes now. The book actually doesn't tell you nearly as well as I had hoped what you have to do. Okay, so let's jump into the river down here and see how much water does this bottle hold. There we go. It holds half a bucket. And so we can just fly back up here. And so the silicate one, whoops, I just thought that there, holds half a bucket. So now if we go back and we want to look at, say, the hematetic, it's going to trip me up a lot. Looks like it's the exact same recipe. Let's see if I can actually do this in creative mode, because I wasn't sure if I could, if being in creative mode was messing me up, but clearly I just wasn't doing the recipes correctly. And you gotta wait for it to do the cooldown bar, otherwise you're not gonna get what you're hoping to get. There we go. Now we have a hematetic one. So let's check this, because like I said, I thought I heard that these hold different volumes. And I'm gonna need to jump back into survival. And because I'm not thirsty, there we go. This holds 400 millibuckets. All right, so they do actually have different volumes. And I believe volcanic here is the best. It has the largest volume. So this way you can craft water bottles using glass and then not have to worry about crafting up the canteens and water jugs or water flasks from the flasks mod. And of course, these can be used in crafting too. If I grab some flour, it's not letting me stack it. There we go. Yep, uses a tenth of a bucket per, tenth of a bucket per operation. Can I toss these in here to cook them quickly? They're probably gonna taste disgusting, aren't they? Oh, just says charcoal grilled. And also new is lamp glass. Once you craft the unfinished lamp using an ingot, like you used to, you then have to include lamp glass to make the finished lamp. So let's try that quickly. Blow, pinch, flatten, blow, saw. And it looks like we can use any glass type. So let's use some silica. Let's put the correct item in the forge. Oh, let go too soon. That's gonna be something I'm gonna have to be careful of. I'm used to 2 puffs and then thinking it's done. There we go. Next is pinch. Then we're going to go to flatten. Blow once again. And then saw. And this should get us some lamp glass. Yep. And then we can use this lamp glass in lanterns. Nice. Alright, so now that we know how to make the glass batch and how to work the pipe, next we have table pours and basin pours. Glass can also be dyed before it is poured to create colored glass. The color depends on the type of glass batch and what's added. So if we jump back out quickly, we look at this. You see by adding to silicate native gold powder, we can get pink glass. Each type of glass batch has a different natural color of the glass that they will create. Silica glass batch can be made into various colors, while Ovaline and volcanic glass can be made into relatively few. Ovaline is a greenish, volcanic is, actually I forget what it is, I think it's an orangish, so it's kind of harder to dye those colors. Glass panes are made with a table pour. A pouring table is made by placing up to 16 brass plated blocks in a continuous area. Add the glass batch to the blowpipe, heat to faint red, right click the blowpipe on top of the table, finally right click with a paddle to flatten the glass. Once the glass is cooled, it can be broken with a gem saw to obtain. Apparently you can also use the gem saw to break glass blocks and glass panes. It will work like Silk Touch. Glass blocks are made with a basin pour. A basin is made by surrounding all sides of an air block except the top with brass plated blocks. Add the glass batch, heat, right click the blowpipe on top of the table. Once it's cooled, use the gem saw to obtain. Glass has a natural color based on the glass batch. Other colors can be made using a bowl. Okay, that normal type of bowl. White silica hermetic glass with soda ash, black any glass plus graphite, and so on and so forth. And you have this nice little table showing what can and cannot be crafted. And then here is just some recipes. So, brass blocks. Brass plated block. 4 brass double sheet, not double sheets. 4 brass sheets, 8 ingots total, plus your hammer, plus a plank in the middle gives you the brass plated block. I'm going to mess it up so many times. We're going to want to make a open area here. That, and wish I picked a less hilly area to set up in. Okay, so that gives us a basin and that gives us a table. So heat it up and then table pour to get our panel. I'm going to use a paddle to flatten. There we go. That was really cool. I was not expecting to do that. And then the gem saw to pick it up. I'm in creative mode. There we go. And now we have some glass panels. So let's try that once more. Only this time we're going to try to make a glass block. There we go. And again with the gem saw, we can cut it out and we have glass. Oh, that's gonna make it much more interesting in order to make glass instead of, well, the way we did in 118, which was just throw a bit of sand in the charcoal forge and wait for it to heat up. I like this. Let's see if there's anything else we can do with glass that I should test out. We do have lenses, and lenses are now going to be required for making daylight detectors, spyglasses, and compasses. Oh, and we can also jar now. Make the jar, make a lid. You get a lot of lids for 1 ingot of tin. Let's see, it's blow, pinch, roll, saw. So let's get another thing of batch. Oh, back into creative. Let's give this a test. So it was blow, pinch, roll, saw. I let go too soon. And there we go. Now we have an empty jar. And as you can see with the jars, you can actually preserve fruit. And I'm not sure if there's anything else you can preserve. I'm still looking, but mostly fruit. Just like you would with Firma Life, only this is now in base TerraFirmaCraft. You don't need Firma Life to get this functionality. You'd still want Firma Life because they're adding a lot of new stuff to Firma Life, including new food types. Or at least they're working on new food types. And of course, the cellar is a nice addition to Firma Life also. So yeah, that's glass making. It's pretty cool. It's going to add a bit more time to getting work done. You got to make those two. Oh, well, okay, you don't need to make two. You could definitely get away with just one by adding the brass block in the middle there, by taking it out and putting it back. But you are going to need at least 2 crafts of the brass blocks in order to make enough panels. It said you can do up to 16. So I wonder if one recipe will give you 16. Let's check that. Okay, that's the largest it can be made. We want to test. We want to test this. That in there. So when I did it with 9 blocks, it gave me 9 panels. And then I proceeded to break them because I was in creative mode. I still am. If we do it with 1. Oh, right. Panel. I need to flatten it. Yes. Okay. So it will fill the area up to 16. So one glass batch will give you 16 panels or 1 block. That doesn't seem like that doesn't seem right. Yeah, no, that is how it is. One glass batch will give you either 16 panels or 1 glass block. That's gonna make glass blocks more expensive, but is there really a use for glass blocks? Well, okay, there's recipes that I added. Alright, so there are no additional recipes for glass blocks. So aside from just using them for windows, there's no need to really make pure glass blocks. You can go straight to making panels, and with panels, you get 16 panels per batch. You do only get 1 bottle, 1 lamp, or 1 jar per batch also. So panels are the cheapest glass. Blocks are just as expensive as everything else here. Alright, but that's Glassworking. I hope you learned something. I hope it's going to be useful for you when 1.20 comes out. Until then, it is Christmas weekend this weekend, so Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Later.